August the 30th, 2021. A quick solar update. Activity has definitely picked up in the last few days. Look at the filaments that are releasing, and these things can be deadly. We saw an 8.2 quake hit in the top half of the Ring of Fire off the Alaskan coast from these filaments like this. We've got a very large sunspot at the bottom right section of the sun now. As it was Earth facing a few days ago, it put out a strong flare, not quite an X, but very close to it, and you saw it there, and you saw the releases. Also, there was what's called a solar tsunami, and when the flare was released, the one from the bottom, it was a ripple effect almost all the way across the sun. Here is the sunspot they're watching. It has the capability of creating very strong flares right now, 80% for C, and then you get into about a 30% for an M-class flare, 5% for an X. But this is what it looks like. When you see the dual colors, you've got opposite polarities and opposite magnetisms, and it's like arcing a battery, and that's what it will throw off the filaments, and it will throw off the flares. As we look at this, and we're looking, by the way, at the Solar Dynamics Observatory. It has 12 cameras, different filters. Here's the sunspot now. We're going to let it rotate and start the video back. But it's amazing to watch the activity. Notice as the flare in the bottom occurs, there's a shock wave that goes across from the bottom, across the middle surface of the sun. And that flare that caused that tsunami created the filament release at the top of the sun. But again, we're going back about 4 days here, 27th, 28th through the 30th here. The sunspot's at the right now. Now watch the explosion. Boom. And suddenly you've got that wave that created the release of the filament again at the top. It's amazing to see these images. But again, our solar activity is definitely kicking up. If you guys are starting to feel pressure from these coronal mass ejections, you'll know why, and we'll look at the CME tracker, and that's going to give you an idea of what we're actually looking at. Right here, I paused it. There's your flare, ripple effect, moving north from there across the top. There's your second filament release. That's why we got a couple of CMEs headed our way. Now, this is the latest from spaceweather.com, another link on our site. They're saying minor geomagnetic storm warning. Warn of perhaps 2 CMEs are about to hit Earth. The first hurled towards us last Thursday and was called a Thursday solar tsunami. I showed you that C3 flare. It's expected first sometimes today. The second was Saturday solar flare, the M47, almost an X flare. It could come, it could strike the planet between August 31st and September the 1st. Neither CME is particularly bright or powerful. Now, I'm not so sure about that. We're going to watch this thing because we know that it can cause health problems. Not only that, tectonic pressure on our plates and earthquakes. They're also mentioning the sunspot AR-2860 we were looking at. It's big and it's ready to flare. They said it's crackling with C-class flares. And guys, it's 100,000 kilometers long. Just to give you an idea, here is the flare detection, the X-ray. And 2 days ago, you see that peak to the left. That was our M flare. The red line is an X flare. You've got a 80% chance of more C flares, 30% chance of the stronger M flare, 5% chance of that X flare happening. This was a still picture on the 28th, check that out, of that flare. That's what I'm saying. It was so close to an X flare, it gave that same signature. So let's just be careful starting this evening and going for the next couple of days and watch for any earthquake activity. And of course, a lot of us are going to feel this. This is a CME chart. Notice on your left, it's showing the release from the sun, which is in the yellow dot in the center. The Earth is directly to the right of that in the green dot. It's showing stereo A and B satellites in the blue and red also. Top chart to the right is plasma density in the green, and that is the amount of protons, how dense and powerful these waves are coming at us. And you can see the double reaction here from the first one, and then as that passes by, the second one here a couple days later. Also, the bottom chart, the top section, which is in green, shows the solar wind speed or radial velocity in kilometers per second. We can see it rising from 350 up to around 500 over the next few days. Actually, it's already very close to 400 kilometers per second as we speak, starting to rise now. But I just wanted to touch base with you on this. It's been kind of active between the hurricanes and having to travel. But this is what we have going on, guys. Keep a heads up on it. Be safe.